Today here on the workbench I have a GP39-2, and we're going to be putting a decoder in this locomotive, and what we're going to be using is a Loksound V4 in this. This is part number 400, and this should be a fairly quick install. Now I know I say that, but about every time. But hopefully this one will be a quick install. It's got an 8-pin connector. Let me pull this out of the box. Really the only thing I'm going to have to solder to this is the speaker. And I do have a brand new speaker for it. But this is the decoder, and there's the 8-pin plug. Now, I'm not going to be installing any other lighting functions on this. No ditch lights, nothing like that. And I do have the horn. It's in the box. I took it off so I wouldn't damage it. But I guess we'll go ahead and get this body off, and we'll plug this thing in, and we'll go from there. I've already downloaded the sound file for this, so it'll have to be loaded up onto the decoder. But so let's go ahead and take this apart and see what we can do. I still need to oil my chair. Haven't done that yet. Let's see. Get this apart. Probably just I'll have to remove 2 screws on either end of it. And I pushed part of the railing off there. Put that back on. Of course, now removing the horn lets me set it up on that end a little better. I'll keep that out. And we will remove our couplers. Get a pair of tweezers here. Didn't think I had that all the way out. Pull the coupler box out. Same thing here in the front. And I'll probably change those couplers out. So there's our shell separated from the body. And just for giggles, I am going to, if I can find a Sharpie, I'm going to mark this front. There, I'll mark it on the side there. But now that I've got this apart, got a nice little surprise there. That already has a NCE decoder installed on it. So for the price that I paid for this thing at the show, I paid $30 for this. So let me go through And really the only thing I'm going to have to do to that, well, like I say, all I need to do is plug in. I'll remove that. So there's a nice little 8-pin board I can use. And they have, let me point this out here, this arrow that I'm pointing at, that is the number 1 plug, and that corresponds to the orange wire on our 8-pin plug. Hopefully you can see that right there. So all we need to do is plug that in. So there's that. And our 2 speaker wires are these 2 brown wires coming off of the decoder. The purple wire is just an extra function, and I'm not going to be using any extra functions. So I don't think I'll clip that off like I normally do. Excuse me. But I am going to clip off the end of this right here, because there is a piece of that is exposed. So I'm going to pull on that, and what that'll do is that'll bring that casing up around the bare wire. So that's that. I don't have to do anything with my motor wires. That's all taken care of. I will tuck them in here a little neater than they were. That was a little surprise. I didn't know this had a decoder in it. And I don't figure the fellow that sold it to me knew that it had a decoder in it. Now, I hope that my light bulbs are good. But I'll check those out. So let's see. How do we want to proceed here? I think what I'll do, I can put that in there. My 2 brown wires are my speaker wires. Again. That will mount just like that. I'll put some Kapton tape over that. And I'm going to try to get this all without having to mill the frame. But I'm not sure if that's doable when I put the speaker in. Didn't cut my Kapton tape long enough. Okay, there's that. Now I'll put a piece. Actually, I think I want to test this first just to see if those lights do work. Because if they don't, I'm going to have to put some LEDs in here. So, get some stuff out of the way. And now I'll plug that in. Let's see. Okay, I've got that set up on the test track, and I've got my DCC system hooked up to it. So let's, okay, so we do have some movement, and I did see a light, but it went off. Why did it go off? Okay. We do have light, so I won't have to fool with those. You can see that there. Let's try in the reverse direction, and the light works in the reverse direction. Nice yellow bulb. See what kind of motion we have. Nice slow speed. So, okay. So there's that's the basic install. Now, pull this back off here. Set that out of the way. So my lights, well, they are what they are. And this is going to be one of those locomotives I want to use maybe for, I'll take it to the club, take it to shows. Like I say, this was a $30 locomotive. Now I know the decoder was a little more. We won't go into that. But I've got to put the speaker in. I am not going to have enough room to do what I wanted. Well, maybe I can change my plan here. Maybe I can take and put that speaker, because it's, let's see, I have several different types I could use. They are ESU speakers. So what I can do, probably put it under this shield. Let me pull this off. Those just have a couple little clips inside. There's that one. So this Should just be able to set this right on top. Pull that wire up out. Now I should be able to set that, I believe it's 11 by 15. Let me turn you off for a second and I'll dig it out. Okay, I found my speaker, and what I'm going to be using for this is an ESU speaker, and there you can see the number, ESU 50321. It's an 11 by 15 square speaker. Excuse me. Now I'm all choked up. But anyway, let me dig the parts out. So there's our speaker. Here's our case for it, or enclosure. And let me, there, we'll do that the easy way. These come with a couple of different configurations. You can hook that up however you want. But what I am going to do, I'm going to keep it simple. We're going to use this will be the top. And I want to kind of keep this as thin as I can. So I'm going to use that small piece. We'll set that down on there. The speaker will go, the sound coil, I guess what you call that piece there, within. And then the magnet goes up, just like that. And then I'll save these two other pieces for, actually, I've got enough room there that I can use the bigger piece. That'll give us a little better sound. That's what that speaker will look like. That's how thick it'll be. And that is, let me get a measurement on that. Uh, 334 thousandths. So it's just a little bit, it's almost 3/8 of an inch. And then after we get that put together, basically that is just going to sit there on top. And now that I look at it, that isn't big enough, so I'll go back to the smaller one. That'll take about 1/8 inch off of that thing. So let me glue this up. I'm going to use some, this is Plastruct. Hit all 4 sides of it. Okay. That that's that. And I've got my soldering iron on already. And I'll take and I'm going to glue the speaker in. Be careful not to get any on the cone. Hit the sides. So there I have that. Now all I got to do is solder my wires on. And let's see, the left side is the positive side. Of course, I have 2 brown wires. Let me look in the instructions here. I want to see if it designates it does not designate between positive and negative on my brown wires. I didn't think it did, but I just wanted to make sure. So, yeah. Okay. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll put a little flux I always have the hardest time with these. Try something here. Okay. A little bit of flux, a little bit of flux, and I'll have to tin this up. There's that one. There's that one. And we'll get our solder out. Get some of my parts out of the way here. I may have to bring in my magnifier. Clean that tip off. All we got to do is touch that on there. Clean that off again. And then I am going to have to bring in the magnifier. Try not to get that in your way. Okay. Just have a very little dot of solder on each one of those. So missed it. Get the magnifier back out. And get one of my helping hands out here. Way I can hold this a little better. Yep. Now let me try that. There's one. Now let me grab the other wire. Okay. Trying to hold everything here at one time, and I shouldn't have. So there's that. Now let's put this up on the test track before we fasten it down again. Pull the test track back out. Put a couple of things away. Okay. Now, I don't have anything loaded on this. So, okay. Yeah, I'm going to have to load the sound file on it before I do anything. So now, move this out of the way. Pull this back in. And let me set this down here. Pull the body back off. I'm going to go ahead and put all this back together before I load that up. Probably against my better judgment, but I'll go ahead, put a piece of double-sided tape on that. Dig that out. Turn off the soldering iron. Should always have a good supply of double-sided tape. There's that. Put that on the bottom. We'll turn that around and set it closer to the front here. That way I can run these wires more toward the back. And we'll get some more Kapton tape. This way I'll have this one function wire left in case I ever want to come back. That'll keep that all nice and tidy. And that'll stay in there. So we've got that. That's all going to sit back in there nicely. Okay. There we've got our body back on. I am going to take and change out these couplers while I've got this apart. Let's see. I'm going to have to get me some whisker couplers at some point. I think I can. Because all I've got right now is number 5s. I think I can put a number 5 in here with the spring. Yeah, that'll hoping that, get that upside down. No, I don't. That one. And let's see, that goes that way. Move that up here so you can see that a little better. That one there. Then that goes in. Okay. Get my screw ready. So we're all back together. Ooh. And now I can program this. Oh, I got to get out my other test track for that. One with my Loke programmer. So hang on. Okay, I've got the sound file loaded into this. It's an EMD 645E3. So let's go ahead and we'll fire this up. Then let's see, here's our headlight. Like I said, I didn't change the bulbs in this. So I don't know if you can turn it off here real quick. You just barely see that. So let's start up through the speed steps. And this decoder does have drive hold, so let me hit that function. And then I'll start up through the speed steps so you can hear this ramp up. Doesn't have a bad sound to it. And you can see with the drive hold function that I'm just barely moving. Let me ramp this back down. Go down a little faster than we went up. I release the drive hold on it. Here's the horn. And there's the bell. So, let me kind of slide you around here a little bit. You can see the headlight in that shot. Kind of take you around. See the figure inside the conductor there. In the rear. All in all, this wasn't a bad install. Quick and easy. So we'll shut that off there. And that's it for this one. So thanks for watching. Alright, we've got our Atlas GP39-2 done, and if you've watched the whole video, the first speaker that I put in, and I say first speaker, was an 11 by 15 sugar cube speaker, and I had it set right here on top of the decoder. Well, I'm not sure what it was, but in the ESU says that that speaker will work with this decoder, with this V4 decoder, even though it is an 8 ohm speaker. Now, the Loksound V4 Select in the ESU instructions says that it takes, or that you should use a 4 ohm speaker, but it says that the speaker that I put in it, that little sugar cube, the 50321 part number, is an 8 ohm speaker, so it says it should work. But what I found out, and I don't know if you noticed it or not, but when I had, here's the sugar cube that I had. When I ran that, and you might be able to tell in the sound in the video that it wasn't crackling, it was kind of popping. So I took the radiator section out, and if you put your finger, you could set your finger on top of the magnet, and it was hot, physically hot. And I tried it 2 or 3 times off camera, and every time, same results. It would get hot. I sent the question to ESU, haven't gotten a response back. Posted it on the ESU Facebook page, and I haven't had any responses on that either. But my question is, should you use that speaker with this board? I know it says you can, but I recommend that you don't. So what I did, I installed this speaker. I had to mill out part of the frame back in here. And this is a 4 ohm ESU speaker. So, and it sounds good. So let me fire it up. Get out the controller here. And I've got this set to the cab number, 4306. Okay, so we'll go through the startup sequence. And we still got our front light. Now, I didn't upgrade the headlights or anything. They're still, you know, the bulbs. So, let me, I'm going to lock the drive hold in with function 9. And I'll ramp this up. So it sounds pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. At least this one doesn't heat up. So, and I don't have the volume set all the way up. And it is a little louder with the shell on it. So, still got the brake hold set. Let me put the body on it. So you can hear that went up a little bit. So now we'll ramp it up again. Got that on speed step 9. So I'm pretty happy with that. Like I say, at least it's not heating the magnet up on the speaker. So, and it has good low speed. I do like these ESU decoders. They are nice. I can't wait to try one of the new V5s. But anyway, so I've got that. And I may end up maybe trying to move some sound slots around and whatnot. Just to play with it. I've never played with one of these V4s. So, but I do have another V4 decoder. And I think I'm going to put it in I've got a Proto 2000 switcher that I'm going to put it in, I believe. But I may have to order me another speaker. So, but anyway, I just wanted to share that and show you that I made a change. So, alright, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching.